So in Orange County, there's a lot of built-out space, but there's also a lack of green space and park space.
A new project brings exciting developments for active transportation in Orange County.
I'm Claire Weber reporting live at Cal State Long Beach, where students have been protesting the university's plan for their upcoming graduation ceremonies. Stay tuned for more.
And in Irvine, a hockey team in OC that serves an important purpose. Stay tuned.
I'm Mason Lee, live here in Orange, and later this Chapman News, I'll have the latest updates on the Circle Fountain crash.
From Dodge College of Film and Media Arts, this is Chapman News.
Good afternoon and welcome to this week's edition of Chapman News. I'm Alexandra Cohen-Yartz.
And I'm Brady Grustis. Our top story today is an update on the nation's latest mass shooting.
A fifth person has died after yesterday's mass shooting at a bank in Louisville, Kentucky. 8 others are injured. The shooter, identified as a 25-year-old bank employee, died at the scene after being shot by police officers. Police say he was live streaming the shootings. They also say the shooter legally purchased the AR-15 style rifle he used in the attack.
President Biden is heading to Northern Ireland today. The president is marking the 25th anniversary of the Good Friday Agreement, which was brokered by the U.S. and ended 30 years of sectarian violence. But politics in Northern Ireland remain fragile, with new challenges created by Brexit trade issues. President Biden will also visit Ireland and highlight his family's heritage. This is the first time in 10 years that a U.S. president has visited the Emerald Isle. Leaked U.S. intelligence documents that have been published online continue to cause controversy. The top-secret documents contain sensitive information about U.S. and NATO support for the war in Ukraine. They also reveal information the U.S. is reported to have gathered from spying on both its allies and adversaries. The classified documents may have first been published on Discord, a platform popular with gamers.
Some states, including California, are now buying large quantities of the abortion drug mifepristone. Following conflicting rulings last week by judges in Texas and Washington, future access to the pill is uncertain. The Federal Drug Administration approved use of the drug 23 years ago. The recent ruling from a Texas judge halting the approval comes after last year's Supreme Court reversal of Roe v. Wade. The Biden administration is appealing the Texas ruling. These conflicting court decisions come after the controversial Roe v. Wade case and are likely to lead to another Supreme Court hearing.
In other news, California residents with limited food budgets will see cuts to 2 food programs, CalFresh and the federal pandemic EBT. Government funding for food assistance increased during the pandemic, but since President Biden has declared the end of that federal public health emergency, that extra help is also ending. More than 300,000 low-income residents here in Orange will be impacted. Right now, local families are receiving a total of $30 million in food assistance, which will be lost with the cutbacks. It is also a major concern for local food banks, whose resources are already stretched thin.
There's no way we can meet that need. I mean, there's just no way. We don't have the food or the resources to make up a $30 million hole in the food economy.
For those who will lose the assistance, local food bank leaders suggest looking into other programs such as WIC, rental and utility assistance. A new labor law here in California took effect in January, and it's already having an impact on the job search and hiring process. The law mandates that all companies with more than 15 employees include the pay scale for a position as part of a job listing. Additionally, private companies with more than 100 workers must submit an annual pay data report showing median pay for each job category according to race, ethnicity, and gender. State lawmakers who backed the new law say the goal is to reduce gender and racial pay gaps.
Disney is making staff cutbacks, and it is expected Disneyland here in Orange County will be impacted. Last month, Disney CEO Bob Iger announced the company would lay off 7,000 employees, or roughly 3% of its workforce. Iger says the layoffs are part of the company's effort to keep up with the changing media landscape. Jobs will be cut at the Disney Parks and Resorts, the Distribution Center, and ESPN. In a memo obtained by CNBC, Iger wrote, "The difficult reality of many colleagues and friends leaving Disney is not something we take lightly. This company is home to the most talented and dedicated employees in the world, and so many of you bring a lifelong passion for Disney to your work here. That's what makes working at Disney so special." Iger returned to Disney in November after the previous CEO, Bob Chapek, was fired. The layoffs will be done in 3 rounds and are expected to be finished by the start of summer. Good news for those who like to get outside and bike here in Orange County. The Orange County Transportation Authority has launched an initiative focused on active transportation here in OC. A project called Rails to Trails will convert a 3-mile stretch of old train tracks between Garden Grove and Santa Ana into trails that can be used for biking and walking. According to Christopher Fortin, a representative of the nonprofit Santa Ana Active Streets, Orange County has a lack of trail space.
Trails offer a diverse way of use, one for mobility, but also just recreation. When folks don't have parks nearby, using a trail can also be your walking path. It can be your exercise path.
The Orange County Transportation Authority will conduct environmental studies for the project this spring. This includes testing soil for possible contamination and testing if the historic bridge on the soon-to-be trail is safe for people to walk and bike on. OCTA spokesperson Megan Abba says providing the public with alternative ways to get around OC is important.
Active transportation, which includes biking and walking, is a really important part of Orange County's transportation network. And this is just one way that we can make sure that people have a safe and reliable way to bike and walk, especially between downtown Santa Ana and downtown Garden Grove.
The project is part of a larger 66-mile OC loop that connects various communities in Orange County. Fortin says it is important to make sure that any expansion of transit systems focuses on walkability and bikeability.
And that's only going to help our climate challenges ahead and actually reduce greenhouse gas emissions. So I would definitely appreciate any kind of trail along any kind of major transit corridor, because that's actually going to make it more accessible to actually move in these ways. It's a systemic thing, and we need to start shifting our mindset to supporting trails, supporting transit.
Abba told me that the Northern Loop is 88% finished and that OCTA is currently working to fill the remaining gaps.
City of Hope, one of the country's largest cancer research and treatment organizations, is continuing its plans for a comprehensive treatment center and hospital in Irvine. The cost is estimated at $1 billion. One of the goals for the design of the new facilities is to be a more comforting space for patients. A 4-story treatment center opened last year, and a hospital is planned to open in 2025.
After the break, hear from Cal State Long Beach students who want answers from the university about next month's graduation.
I'm Emma Charles. Coming up, the possibility of a history-making April tropical storm hitting the Gulf of Mexico. Stay tuned for your local and national weather report.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover their unique mix of all kinds of traits.
Where'd Wiley go? Where's Wiley? Ah, there she is. Paw?
Do you remember being an ancient wolf? Do you ever feel the call of the wild?
You're a renegade cop, and I'm a con woman with nothing to prove. But together, we could really solve this murder. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but all of them are pure love.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average 4-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
Later this year, Orange County will host its first ever sustainability decathlon, an event aimed at promoting green innovation in the region. The decathlon features students from nearly 20 schools, including UCI, UCR, and UCSD. Each school was given $100,000 to design and build concepts for single-family homes powered by renewable energy. The judging will take place in October of this year at the OC Fair and Event Center in Costa Mesa. President and CEO of the event, Chapman University political science professor Fred Smoller, says this is just the first step in turning OC's economy towards sustainability.
If you look at the history of Orange County, you can see it moving from ranchos to agriculture to defense to entertainment to biotech to financing. And I think that next chapter is sustainability.
The event has generated bipartisan support from prominent politicians and celebrities, including Representative Katie Porter and former Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger. You can check out OCSD23.com to learn more about the event. Spring has sprung. How are you feeling about this warmer weather, Brady?
Well, you know, Alex, I have been loving the sun, but I have not been loving the pollen. My seasonal allergies have been acting up all week long.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Emma Charles has more on what you can expect for the weather this week.
Thanks, Brady and Alex. First off, taking a look at the Gulf of Mexico, where we may see our first ever tropical storm in April. Given the rest of the record-breaking weather this year, it would not be surprising to see this first. Then taking a look at our national forecast, we have first up in Seattle, 51 degrees, and partly cloudy, 61 degrees in San Francisco, but clear skies. My sister will be happy to be going to classes there. She won't need a jacket. As we go into the desert, we will see 90 degrees in Las Vegas, lots of sun, and 85 degrees in Denver. Making our way down to Austin, we have 87 degrees, but lots of wind. Going up north, we have 78 degrees in Minneapolis and 76 degrees in the Windy City, but not a lot of wind. Going to Boston, we have a nice 74 degrees, but unfortunately, lots of clouds today. Moving down to Washington, D.C., we have 77 degrees and clear skies, not too much humidity, the perfect spring day. Going down to Atlanta, we have 70 degrees and clear skies, and in Miami, we have 75 degrees, but some April showers. Moving on to our Orange County forecast, and starting with the coast, we have a marine layer coming in at Newport Beach and Laguna Beach with 63 degrees in Newport and 65 degrees in Laguna. Up north, we have 69 degrees in Westminster, and in Orange, we have it getting a little warmer with 73 degrees. In Irvine, we have 70 degrees and 71 degrees in Mission Viejo with clear skies, and in San Clemente, we have 65 degrees with some clouds. In my hometown of Dana Point, we have 64 degrees with some clouds, where right now my mom is probably saying, I'm cold, and my dad's probably saying, it's hot out. For our 5-day Fenestra forecast, we have 73 degrees as the high today. It is 72 right now, and later we have 53 degrees as the low at night. Cooling down a little bit this week, we have 68 degrees on Wednesday, 53 degrees at night, and cooling down even more on Thursday, we have 64 degrees and 52 at night. It'll be getting warm just in time for the weekend, though, with 69 degrees and sunny on Friday and Saturday. You might want to go outside because it'll be a nice 79 degrees. Right now, it is currently 72 degrees and sunny in Orange, and that has been your weekly weather forecast. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Emma. The National Marine Fisheries Service says it may have to cancel salmon fishing off the coast of California until next spring. That's because the number of Chinook salmon is expected to reach a record low. The fishing industry has a $1.4 billion economic impact here in California and creates 20,000 jobs. Graduation season is right around the corner, an exciting time for students and their families.
But the commencement plans for Cal State Long Beach are creating some controversy. Claire Weber is live in Long Beach with more.
Brady, I'm here live on Cal State Long Beach's campus, where just last week, students gathered right over here to peacefully protest the university's decisions surrounding their upcoming graduation ceremonies. I spoke with two of the students behind the movement to learn a little more about the issue and what they've been doing. Take a look at what they had to say.
Don't talk, let us walk. Don't talk, let us walk. Don't talk, let us walk.
For college students, their graduation ceremony is a milestone celebration of their hard work.
We have been talking about graduating college my whole life.
But students at Cal State Long Beach have turned to protest and petition because of the university's plan for next month's graduation ceremonies.
Let us walk. Let us walk.
Seniors only recently learned that the ceremony will not include the new graduates walking across the stage or having their names read aloud. Changes originally made during the pandemic.
We're not getting answers to the questions we have. Just be transparent with us. We can work with you. It's not like we're demanding anything unusual.
The university declined our request for an interview, but sent us their statement, saying, while it is not practical at this scale to read graduates' names during the main ceremonies, graduates will see their names in the program and featured on the Jumbotron during the processional into the stadium. But for many students, having that individual recognition is an important part of graduation for them and their families.
I'm the first one in the history of both my parents' sides to be born in the United States. So my whole family overseas, my parents, everybody has been following my journey.
And some even feel that this situation has changed their relationship with the university.
If I had known this was going to be my graduation experience, I would have found a different school to go to.
Students say this isn't only about the class of 2023, but all future graduating classes at Cal State Long Beach. It's important to note that Long Beach is the only CSU proposing a graduation that won't include graduates walking across the stage or having their names read aloud. The student movement has also started an online petition that's gained nearly 19,000 signatures so far, but with little to no communication with the university, it doesn't seem likely that Cal State Long Beach's class of 2023 will get the graduation they're asking for. I'm Claire Weber reporting live in Long Beach for Chapman News. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Claire. It's known as sushi terrorism, food pranks being pulled on restaurants in Japan. The pranks include people licking communal soy sauce and contaminating food on revolving sushi conveyors. 2 people were arrested last week and charged with obstruction of business and property damage. In Japan, following the coronavirus pandemic, there is new attention to hygienic practices in restaurants. And some are saying this new wave of pranks may limit how restaurants serve sushi.
3 years ago, schools shut down around the country due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Chapman News reporter Lexi Propak asked members of the Chapman community about their experience at Chapman throughout the time and how it impacted their academics.
Chapman University's Dodge College of Film and Media Arts is nationally recognized for its hands-on approach to filmmaking. But when the coronavirus caused schools across the country to shut down, the school had to make a drastic change to its curriculum. Jenna Sung, a senior psychology and film production major, shared how her film education differed after going online.
When everything shut down, production went down with it. So there was really no source of learning or hands-on learning, which is why I went to Chapman.
Stephen Herson, who teaches many of the studio classes for television, remembers the scramble of transitioning those class formats to be remote.
We were in shock. We didn't know what to do. We didn't try to do production because we didn't know how long it would last. We didn't know how to do production online at that point.
As semesters progressed, online teaching adapted with new programs. Herson found a website called StreamYard that was used to simulate the studio's setting, but was not without faults.
It was frustrating. I mean, there's certain things you couldn't do online because you're using a Zoom camera, so there's no camera movements. There's never 2 people in the same room. But in terms of learning how to produce, those things were the same.
Jenna Sung's experience caused her to extend her academic timeline at Chapman to a 5-year plan.
I feel like so many people were stolen of the college experience, so that's why I added 1 more year.
Due to the lack of in-person opportunities over the pandemic, many film students missed out on developing technical abilities.
In the advanced class, there's still a few students who never had in-person, so they were a little behind in terms of knowing the equipment.
Even at the 3-year mark, COVID has definitely left an imprint on the Chapman community.
We have this amazing ability now to be super flexible and everywhere at once.
Zoom is a valuable tool that I still use, and I was proud of what we were able to accomplish.
This is Lexi Propok reporting for Chapman News.
And now in international news, Japanese and Australian scientists found the world's deepest fish ever caught on camera near the coast of Japan. The unknown snailfish was found at the Isu Ogasawara Trench in the Pacific Ocean. It was filmed swimming over 2,700 feet beneath the ocean surface, breaking the record as the deepest fish ever filmed and caught.
Live here in Orange. A few weeks ago, this fountain behind me here, a historic landmark here in Orange, was damaged when a car ran into it. After the break, I'll have the latest details on the efforts to repair it.
I'm Joshua Feinhersh, and coming up next on the Best Campus Sports Show, we'll have a breakdown of the Lakers season, an upcoming play-in game. Stay tuned.
Get dark. We can't see the help that's all around us. Let 211 be your guiding light for help with food, healthcare, and other resources.
211, how can I help you?
Call 211 or visit 211.org. 211, get connected, get help.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy. Buzz and overshared again? Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So, yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
A nonprofit here in OC gives active duty military, veterans, and first responders an opportunity to have some fun on the ice. Chapman News reporter Gavin Nguyen has more on the importance and how it all came to be.
Great Park Ice here in Irvine, California has what you'd expect out of a hockey rink. Tough.
I wear no cage also, so.
And hungry for competition.
I get in the zone. I get in this whole mindset of like, I'm trying to win.
Hockey players battling it out on the ice. What you might not have guessed is that for many, battles aren't anything new.
Most of us are vets here.
Chris Bulow, a veteran himself, founded the OC Guardians hockey team in 2021. It provides a place where active duty military, veterans, and first responders get a chance to bond on the ice.
If you understand military, we come from a background of camaraderie, friendship. We have each other's backs through the thick and the thin.
It's all you, baby, all you.
And coming out of the military, you lose that when you leave active duty. So hockey is a way to basically, fulfill that missing piece that you lose when you leave the military.
But it comes at a cost. Equipment, renting out the ice, and other fees, it all adds up.
So it's 100% worth it. I wouldn't give it up I wouldn't give it up. If it came down to my hockey or my PlayStation, or if I had to sell some of my things to make sure I could play, I'm gonna figure a way to play somehow, some way.
That burning desire to play is felt by everyone on the ice, and by those in the stands.
We're supporting the Guardians. We're coming to watch them kick some butt.
We are here supporting friends. That's it, Guardians. We got Ray, an old friend, disabled vet that's on the team.
So Derek, Dan, Chris, Jordan, everybody.
As Chris pointed out, hockey is expensive. Guardians players have to pay $525 every few months just to get access to facilities like these. If you want to learn more or donate, you can visit guardianshockey.com. Reporting for Chapman News, I'm Gavin Nguyen.
In other news, the NBA playoffs are right around the corner. Brady, will you be watching the Lakers game tonight?
I absolutely will. And so will our resident basketball expert, Joshua Feinhersh. He's here in studio with us today. Josh, what should everyone watching know about the game tonight?
Thank you, Brady and Alex. That's right. There's a lot to know, but I'll start with the background information. The NBA regular season has ended. The NBA play-in tournament begins tonight. The Lakers are the story of the play-in. For the first 12 games of the season, they were in last place in the Western Conference with a record of 2-10. They battled through LeBron James and Anthony Davis injuries to go 41-29 the rest of the season. This allowed them to finish 7th in the Western Conference and have a final record of 43-39. The Lakers are one of just 6 teams in NBA history to start a season 2-10 and finish above 500. The Lakers will play the Timberwolves tonight at 7 p.m. The Timberwolves come into this game shorthanded as they will be without their center Rudy Gobert, who was suspended for punching his teammate Kyle Anderson last game. The winner of this game will play the Grizzlies in the first round of the playoffs. The other games include the Bulls vs. Raptors, Pelicans vs. Hawks, and the Pelicans vs. Thunder, and the Heat vs. Hawks. The Masters Golf Championship took place this past weekend at Augusta National in Georgia. The Masters champion this year was Jon Rahm with a score of -12. Rahm won $3.2 million. Tiger Woods still made the cut this year, extending his streak of made cuts at the Masters to 25 straight. Live golfers were able to compete for the first time as Brooks Koepka and Phil Mickelson both had amazing tournaments, tying for second place with scores of -8. Others, like Bryson DeChambeau, struggled mightily, missing the cut. Chapman Sports had a very busy weekend as well. Women's lacrosse beat Redlands by a score of 19-5, with Annika Carlson scoring 3 goals and having 3 assists as well. Annika Carlson had some thoughts post-game about the team's amazing win.
Utilizing their confusion on picks, but also really working together with the 2-man game and working as one unit and being able to work off ball and create opportunities for each other and recognize when we should drive and when we should feed.
This was an all-around team win as multiple players had 2 or more goals. Thank you for watching. I've been Joshua Feinhersh, and I'll send it back to Brady and Alex at the desk.
Thanks, Josh. It has now been a month since the collision that caused significant damage to the historic fountain in the Orange Circle.
Our Mason Lee is live at the scene, just a few blocks from campus. Mason, what is the latest on the repairs to the fountain?
Thanks, Alex. Brady. The Orange Police Department says on March 13th, a Hyundai Sonata careened through the circle behind me here. We have some dramatic video. You can see the car hits the fountain, flips several times, and comes to a rest in the grass. The police department says the driver, Raymond Salazar Felix, had an unserialized handgun and a high-capacity magazine at the time. The department also says at the time, Felix was on probation in Kern County for vehicle theft. Also, at the time of the crash, the city was working on a roughly $300,000 project to improve the circle. The project would have included features such as traffic bollards, which Councilmember Ariana Barrios says would have reduced the damage from the collision. The city now says the Public Works and Community Service Department is working on restoring the fountain, and more recently, OC Supervisor Don Wagner says he will donate roughly $200,000 to help restore the fountain.
Wow, such fascinating details, Mason. What do we know about the repair so far?
Alex, Brady, at this time, we don't have a clear dollar amount yet. All we know that is Councilmember Barrios says that the collision has dramatically increased the price of the circle renovation project. Additionally, the Orange County Register reports that the city is working with Mark McCandless, the original fountain designer's grandson, to help restore the fountain into original condition.
Thanks, Mason. And do we know when those repairs might be finished?
At this time, the city doesn't have a timeline for the project yet, so we don't know exactly when the fountain will be restored. And with that, that's all I have for you today. Back to you at the desk.
I'm Juhi Doshi, and coming up after the break, I take a closer look into a nonprofit that has provided thousands of meals for the unhoused living on Skid Row. Stay tuned.
Also coming up, why some frustrated music fans say going to a concert is not the same experience it once was.
We got here at like 3:30 a.m. and it's like, what the heck? Like.
And it's National Pet Day. We'll celebrate by introducing you to one pet owner and his special best friend.
Stay tuned.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzz and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
Spending time outdoors has never felt more valuable. Whether it's exploring nature or relaxing in your yard, let's do it responsibly. Before going out, check for closures and fire restrictions. Practice social distancing, even when outside and on the trail. Back at home, if burning yard debris, keep your pile small. And no matter where you are, be sure to properly extinguish any outdoor fire. Drown, stir, drown, feel. We're all in this together. Help keep our safe places safe.
So as we just mentioned, today is National Pet Day, and Brady, I've got to ask, cats or dogs?
Well, I'd have to consider myself a dog person, but a furry friend is a furry friend.
Well, here at Dodge College, we are definitely a dog-friendly school. Our Dean Stephen Galloway's pup, Toby, even has his own following on TikTok.
Another fixture around campus is Dodge College student Dasha Levin and his dog Violet. They're with us in studio today.
Hi, Dasha. How are you doing today?
Doing good. How about you guys?
I'm doing pretty great. I'm very curious to know a little bit more about Violet. What breed is she?
She's a standard poodle. She's about to turn 3 in April, so in just a few weeks. So it's her birthday this month. And yeah, it's National Pet Day, so I need to go to the pet store.
You better spoil her today.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, what inspired the name Violet?
So basically, people used to call me Dash when I used to play basketball or baseball in Little League, and that sort of stemmed into me resonating with The Incredibles, and ultimately Dash is like the little kid that runs really fast, and Violet's the sister, so that's where she got the name. And also purple's my favorite color. So.
I love it. I love it.
That's adorable. And Violet is a service dog. Can you tell us a little bit about that, and also how having Violet helps you in your day-to-day life?
Yeah, absolutely. So she provides a few tasks for me, which is like grounding, and she interrupts some episodes and stuff. But she basically just hangs out, has a great time. People love her. And yeah, there's really, I have no complaints on her end.
So how have people been reacting to having Violet on campus? And I've got to ask, does she have any favorite spots?
Yeah, so Musco Lawn is definitely her favorite spot. It's where she meets up with all her play buddies. Yeah. She has a little group that she meets up with, and it's 2 other little poodles, so they have fun. And also, she also loves going to the Starbucks. She'll go and like sit very patiently by the counter and wait for her pup cup because they all know her. So
she gets a pup cup at Starbucks.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Thank you so much, Dasha, and thank you, Violet, for coming. And we hope everyone with a furry friend has a great National Pet Day.
Yes, thank you so much.
Our next story, Los Angeles' Skid Row spans roughly 50 city blocks.
The mission of one local group is to help the unhoused living on Skid Row. Chapman News reporter Juhi Doshi joins us live in the studio with the story.
Good Karma Los Angeles is a local nonprofit aimed at helping one of the greatest challenges facing LA, helping the over 4,000 people living on Skid Row. So far, they've given out over 50,000 hot meals. I went along with the team at Good Karma to see them in action. Take a look. For 145 weeks straight, a local nonprofit has set out to help the thousands of unhoused people who live on Skid Row. Vishal Narayan, a Los Angeles firefighter, started his nonprofit, the Good Karma Los Angeles, in 2020 with his father, a retired truck driver originally from India.
The idea was that my dad and I would go around Los Angeles to homeless shelters, and we would feed the folks that would not make it into the homeless shelters. When we got this truck here, the plan was that Dad and I would go around and we'd make sandwiches, soups, and salads for people, and we'd just do what we can from our family to their hearts.
Volunteers gather every Sunday to pass out items like protein bars, bottled water, 500 hot meals, and other supplies like tents. The volunteers are well received by the community.
Folks in Skid Row are really nice. Like, they know you're coming. They're used to nonprofits pulling up and helping them out. They're very kind. We pass out 600 meals. We get 600 God bless yous right back.
Narayan says he uses his training as a firefighter to keep his volunteers safe while they walk up and down the streets, having 2 line leaders, a scout, and ensuring everyone stays together in a group. He is aware of the risk that comes with the job, but knows the work is very rewarding.
I have seen a lot of overdoses, treated a lot of patients, seen bodies in rigor mortis states during the pandemic, but what brings me out every single week is the impact that we make. We've also served 50,000 meals. We've helped 50,000 people eat. And so that right there fuels me up to come back every single Sunday.
Kayvon Jones, a volunteer with Good Karma, has committed to 100 weeks of service.
Rain, sleet, snow, whether I'm sick, not feeling good, because it's about being of service and being available.
Homeless encampments have been a great source of debate in many communities, but volunteers say it's important to express empathy towards those who are less fortunate.
They just come and have on hard times. It's just unfortunate. It doesn't mean that they need to be overlooked. It doesn't mean that they're less than as a person, and nobody knows the power of sitting telling someone to have a good day and providing a meal, and just the gratitude, the selflessness, and just being humble and being appreciative.
You can help Good Karma by checking out their website at www.thegoodkarmala.org to sign up to volunteer or make a donation. Reporting for Chapman News, I'm Juhi Doshi.
In other news, summer is near, meaning many musicians are going out on tour and music festivals are right around the corner. But some concert goers and artists say attending live performances isn't the same exhilarating experience it once was. Chapman News reporter Anna Sofia Acosta took a deeper look at concert culture and how it has changed over recent years.
It's a familiar scene for young music fans. People line up waiting for their favorite musicians to take the stage later that evening. But with the rise of social media, especially TikTok, there's been a change in how fans find out about artists and shows. That's because the TikTok algorithm is tailored to one's personal interests.
It looks for things like bands and genres of music that you like, brings up new bands. That's how I found like Quarters of Change. That's how I found them. They came up on my TikTok feed.
It's not unusual for a song to achieve TikTok fame, meaning a snippet of a song goes viral. That leads to some musicians quickly gaining new fans. Musicians like Wallows, Steve Lacy, and Biba Doobie have all experienced this type of sudden fame. However, along with TikTok fame, a new group of concert goers has emerged. Some concert goers say crowds are boring because some fans only get tickets to see the song that went viral and post about it. They are not necessarily interested in the artist's other work.
That definitely doesn't make me feel great, and you're also taking tickets from someone who genuinely loves the music and genuinely wants to be there and make friends.
Additionally, there have been concerns about overall concert etiquette and how fans treat artists. It's now normal for fans to line up the night before to secure front row spots. Even at small venues, lines wrap around the block.
Like after COVID hit, I feel like camping has been like crazy. Like I feel like normally like it'd just be like, oh, we show up like an hour or like 2 max before, but now it's like we got here at like 3:30 a.m. and it's like, what the heck?
At Chapman University's spring concert, University Program Board released a statement telling students not to line up before 5 p.m. Social media has also raised concerns about concert safety.
They'll usually line up along this gate, and you can go like all the way throughout the garden walk sometimes, but security has been like really good.
Fans have also been starting to hold artists accountable for making sure their crowds are safe. Reporting for Chapman News, I'm Anna Sophia Acosta.
Coachella will be held this upcoming weekend with a crowd of over 100,000 expected. Frank Ocean will be returning to the stage for the first time in over 5 years. That's all for us this week. Make sure to check us out on our YouTube page at chapmannews.tv and make sure to follow us on Chapman News. I'm Alexander Conyards.
And I'm Brady Grustis. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.